Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Nando here, back with a final review for the Razer phone. So this is my third video on this phone. I've done an unboxing, early impressions, I've done a things to consider, and lastly, like I do for every product I review, I like to do a final review, likes and dislikes, because nothing's perfect. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do consider doing so, and throughout the video, if you like something you hear, hit that thumbs up. I really appreciate every single one of those and every single one of those subscriptions because, A, I like to bring you guys as much technology as I can get my hands on. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this final review of the Razer phone. I've had this Razer phone pretty much since it's come out. I pre-ordered it a few days before it was officially released to the public. It actually shipped a little bit early for me, and I've been using it nonstop since then. A couple things right off the bat that I got to get out. Just like in my things to consider video, the speakers on this phone are incredible. So there you see the speakers. And then you can see this little speck right here. That's driving me absolutely crazy. It's a little dirt or something. And that's part of one of the things that I mentioned in my Things Consider video is that crap is going to get inside of the speaker grill. It just is what it is. I can't stop it. There's another little piece up here. And that's going to drive my OCD out of this world. Maybe it's going to drive yours too. Maybe it won't. But that's something that I love and I hate about these speakers. I love that the sound is so incredible, the greatest speakers I've ever heard on a smart device, and then I hate that I'm constantly worried about crap getting inside. And these aren't the only speakers that happens to, but because the speaker grill is so big, it's easy to see more stuff inside of it. Maybe that's something that just affects me. Let me know in the comment section below if that annoys you, but it definitely annoys me. With that being said, the speakers that flank this screen are incredible. And with the screen comes an incredible display, an incredible refresh rate, 120 Hertz that this screen is capable of. Most phones default to 60. You don't even see 120 in a lot of gaming laptops, and now you have it on this phone. The Apple iPad Pro does it. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes enjoying and consuming media that much nicer, that much more immersive. What I also love about this screen is that, I don't know if you guys can tell right there, but there's very, very little bezel. I don't even consider that bezel. Literally, it's screen and then boom, two massive speakers. The phone itself has these two tiny little volume buttons. That's something I don't like about this phone. Now, my model, the buttons are clicky. I've seen reviews where other people describe their buttons as being mushy, so I'm assuming that has to do with some sort of just quality check on Razer's part. But I can deal with mushy as much as I can hate. As much as I'd hate mushy buttons, I can deal with it if the buttons were bigger. Luckily for me, these buttons are clicky, but they're so small that the phone itself is so big that when I'm using this phone and I'm actually like, one-handing it, it just feels awkward. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I almost have to kind of like look and make sure that I'm pressing the bottom or the top. They don't have any, grooves to them. Nothing that allows them to stand out from anything else other than the fact that, yeah, they stick out a little bit. Again, and that kind of goes to the mushy aspect of it. They're really not raised that much, or that raisivity on this phone isn't a big deal with those buttons. However, the buttons aren't the best in the world. The location on the buttons aren't that great. I assume that Razer was thinking you're going to hold your phone like this to consume media and then your thumbs are just going to fall here. If that's the case, I mean, great. But most people aren't going to have their phone like this throughout the day unless they're literally just using it as a mini tablet and consuming media. Most of the time you have it in your hand. You're texting. You're making phone calls. So I don't know. I think that could be better. I think they could have been positioned a little better. Maybe I'm nitpicking. Maybe I'm not. Let me know what you think of these buttons. So there's that. Another thing about this phone is the build quality. The build quality on this phone is fantastic. It truly is a tank. Love the color scheme. Don't mind the logo whatsoever. When you do run your finger kind of above the logo, you can actually feel the etching. And it does feel kind of like plasticky. It almost feels like it's a sticker. I don't think that's ever going to be an issue in terms of coming out, but I wish that it was kind of imprinted on top of the body rather than kind of etched in. When you run light through it, it kind of changes a little bit. Other than that, it's just black and white or black and silver. Like I said, the phone is built like a tank, but it is extremely, extremely slippery. This phone is probably the first phone that's actually made me consider a pop socket. I tend to slip my phones out of my hands when I'm laying in bed. However, this phone slipping out of my hands in bed would probably cause some serious damage to my glasses or my forehead. It is heavy. It does have these sharp edges, and there are literally no cases out for this phone right now other than from Razer itself. So right now, about 2-3 weeks in, there are no cases on this phone. And I guess that's understandable because it's a new phone to the market. You know, the big phone case manufacturers aren't going to rush out and make cases for a phone that they don't know whether or not people are going to buy. So that's part of something I dislike about owning this phone. It's not a deal breaker, but I do put a case and I do put a screen protector on every device that I end up even just reviewing. I just do it even for just the fact that if I'm going to send it back, I don't want it to break on me while I'm reviewing it and then I'm out all that money. And right now I don't have a screen protector or a case on this phone, and it's driving me crazy. And I can't find anything, and even Razer's products are sold out on Amazon. They're hard to find. So do consider that. It's not like buying an accessory for an iPhone or a Samsung phone or any other Android phone out there right now. It is hard to find accessories for this phone. Now, talking a little bit about the phone in greater detail, it sucks that it doesn't come with Android 8.0 Oreo. I don't know how long that's going to take. Again, given that this is a new phone out in the market, it's already a long process for established phone manufacturers. Okay, it already takes a long time for Samsung and LGs and the OnePluses and the HTCs of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and imagine that it's going to take even longer for Razer. It's frustrating because Oreo is already out right now, and I would think that Razer would try to do something, work with Google to try to get 8.0 on this phone right off the bat. Especially if it ends up being a long time, that we might not even see Oreo on this phone by the time the next operating system comes out. So there's that. Now, with that being said, Razer has done a great job of making sure that the Android version of this phone, I think it's 7.1, is as stock as possible. They use Nova Launcher Prime or Pro with the phone, so everything works and is very smooth. No issues whatsoever with animations. Again, probably the fact that this thing has 8 gigs of RAM helps with that. It does have the Snapdragon 835, and again, specs is not an issue whatsoever with this phone. Everything flies, everything feels smooth, and once you add 835 Snapdragon and 8 gigs of RAM, which a lot of laptops these days don't even come with, you can't complain about the performance. I haven't. I've played some games. I'm not a huge gamer on mobile, but nothing's hicked up, and that's even at 120 hertz screen refresh rate. I thought that that would also cause some sort of lag, but it hasn't. And my biggest thing, the thing I look for the most on a phone right off the bat, is battery. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know how much I care about battery, and this bad boy comes with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside. Now, it doesn't last as long as I would hope. Again, it could be because of the screen. I have changed the screen refresh rate from 120 to 90 to the default and back to 60. As I go down from 120 to 90 to 60, screen on time does improve, but not as much as I thought it would. I don't know why that is. Maybe the fact that these speakers are so strong and so powerful that takes up more battery life when you're consuming media. But with that being said, battery life shouldn't, and to me it hasn't been an issue whatsoever on this phone. I'm still getting about 5.5 hours, sometimes 6 of screen on time, and that is totally fine for me. I just wish it was more, but I gotta let you guys know how that works, and you guys decide if that's plenty for you or not. Lastly, 2 things. One, I have not tested whether or not this phone is waterproof or water resistant. If the manufacturer doesn't say it is, I'm not those types of people that are going to stick this in water and figure it out. I'll let you guys do that, and then I'll watch your video. So this phone does not come with any water resistance rating. And then lastly, this bad boy up top here, top left-hand corner, this camera. I'm not a camera snob. I'm not someone who's going to sit here and talk to you about white balance and dynamic range and things of that nature. I take a picture, and if it looks good, and I'm happy. However, I am capable of discerning between whether a phone can take a great picture or a very good quality picture and a phone takes a crappy picture. When I've used my Essential phone, that's a crappy picture. When I've used my iPhone X or Google Pixel 2 or even Note 8 or LG G6 or any of those phones, those are good or great pictures. When I take a picture with the Razer phone, it's not a good picture. When I take a picture with the Essential phone, it's not a good picture. I don't know how much more money Razer would have had to spend on making this camera, this dual lens camera setup, better at taking pictures. This is a $699 phone. It's not the cheapest in the world. It's a little cheaper than your big flagships out there, but it's still more expensive than the OnePluses of the world. And this phone doesn't take good pictures. Some people say with a software update, it improves the picture. Some people say sideload the Google Camera APK, takes a better picture. I don't want to have to do any of that. I simply want to be able to buy the phone and take a decent looking picture. A picture that I'm like, okay, that looks decent. If a picture is better than what I'd expect, then great. It's like a bonus. When I take pictures with the Pixel 2, I'm blown away. When I've taken pictures with the OnePlus 3T at the time, now I'm going to be getting the 5T soon. But when I've taken pictures with, like, let's say a OnePlus phone, I'm like, all right, this is serviceable. Now I have no issues with this. So that's what I want. That's what I expect from a phone like this. I didn't buy this phone expecting the best camera in the world. However, I didn't expect it to be as bad as it is for $699. Other reviewers tend to say the same. I've been reading some people's reviews on Reddit. They say the same. Same goes with the front-facing camera, the rear-facing camera. Now, if there's light, then the picture is serviceable. And I feel like that's the differentiator. Great cameras are great at low light. Bad cameras are okay at decent light and then bad at low light. This phone right here is bad at low light and it's okay at good light. So there's that. That's my camera review on this phone. Everything else about this phone truly is really, really remarkable given that this is Razer's first attempt at a smartphone. Again, I can't reiterate enough that the speakers on this phone are incredible. They are that good. They are that fun to use, that enjoyable. And I think that if you get this phone, you're going to love it and you're not going to want to put that down because of the speaker. However, if you're someone who takes a lot of pictures, that's going to annoy you. Build quality is fantastic. However, as you guys can see right there, it literally soaks up all of your sweaty hands in grease. So if you're fine with that, great. If you're not, get ready to whip out the OCD handkerchief. And that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section below. Specs are on point. You can't have any better specs than this. And hit that like button again, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for other videos. Let me know in the comment section below again if I missed something that stood out to you. I'd love to find out what that is. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Like always, important thing is to stay geeky. Peace, salute, I'm out.